Hello everybody and welcome to Gene's Reviews from a regular dude, where I do trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels, occasionally I'll review a movie, but really, I just do whatever the hell I want. This is a little graphic. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everybody and welcome to Gene's Reviews from a regular dude. Before we get started today, if you'd like to check out before we get started today, let me try that again. Before we get started today, if you'd like to support the channel, check in the description down below and check out my Teespring store. I have t-shirts, hoodies, coffee cups, tote bags, all kinds of stuff. Now, on with the show. We got a new one today, a new channel. This is called Coffee House Crime. And it's the real life Yandere girl. The strange case of Yuka Takaoka. I don't speak Japanese very well. Yuka Takaoka is what I'm going to say. Is how it's pronounced. We'll find out here. Let's check it out.
She was a sweet, soft-spoken young woman. Nobody would have expected her to do what she did. My name is Adrian, and welcome back to another espresso case by Coffee House Crime. Lesser known solved and unsolved cases in less than 10 minutes. Now this case is a bizarre one, not the type I'd usually cover. Today we're looking at the case of Yuka Takaoka and her victim Phoenix Luna. She's considered to be a real-life yandere in Japan. I'll cover that definition in a moment.
Yeah,
alright, I hope you're ready. This is the case of Yuka Takaoka.
Takaoka. I thought it was Takaoka, but it's Takaoka.
Our short story starts in Tokyo, Japan. It was October 2018, and 21-year-old Yuka Takaoka resided in Shinjuku City. Shinjuku is a special district in Tokyo, known for its buzzing clubs, karaoke rooms, and upscale restaurants, all of them shrouded by skyscrapers. Yuka was living an alternate life, or at least by Western standards. She dropped out of university at the age of 19 to become the manager of a hostess club in Shinjuku. Hostess clubs are popular in the nightlife industry of East Asian countries, typically hiring female employees to serve drinks and provide thoughtful conversation to male customers. And Yuka was also a fan of anime, a style of
I'll bet there's a lot more than conversation involved.
Japanese animation typically aimed for both adults and children. She was so much of a fan, in fact, that she would often post pictures of herself dressing up and cosplaying as some of her favourite characters on her Twitter and Instagram pages, still up to this date. She was a quietly shy individual, the type of person who initially wouldn't say much, but grew confidence the more she knew you. Generally laid back and sweet, not the type you'd expect any problems from. Back to anime. One of her favourite types of cosplays was of yandere characters, a specific type of personality. Yanderes are generally kind, nurturing and lovable women, ones of which that eventually turn violent and possessive over a love interest.
Like a vampire.
Can you see where this is going? In October that year, while still working at a hostess bar, she met a 20-year-old man named Phoenix Luna. He was also a host at a nearby host bar called Fusion Nightclub. Host bars are the same as hostess bars, just hiring male employees for female customers. And Phoenix Luna was in a game of his own. He was very popular amongst the hosts in Shinjuku, and often was in the bar's leaderboards, a lot of his female patrons often returning for his bartending services. Now just to point out, this is all safe for work. Host bars and hostess bars are strictly PG.
Oh, okay.
At least officially. Other than having things in common, Yuka and Phoenix were in the same industry. They understood each other well from a professional point of view. And with their late night work schedules matching, it meant that they had a lot of time out of working hours to connect as friends. It was due to these reasons over the following weeks and months that the two grew closer to each other, and eventually started dating. The relationship wasn't all fine and dandy though. Although their matching hours gave them more time to see each other, it also created some tension between the two. With Yuka and Phoenix both working in the same industry, one designed to generate money through flirting, it posed and bared a risk for the Green Devil. Jealousy. And oh boy, did that work for Yuka. Over the following months, she grew more and more possessive over him, often monitoring his whereabouts and even checking on his phone when he wasn't looking. She grew so ever increasingly jealous over Phoenix that eventually she outright bought his services from the bar, paying over $9,000 a month just so he wouldn't see any other women.
Wow.
A little bit strange, don't you think?
Yeah.
Fast forward, and it is now May the 23rd, 2019, a few months after the two had started dating. Things were going pretty well for the two, and despite a few tensions here and there, the two were happy. Yuka was still managing the hostess bar, and business was solid. She'd taken a couple days off of work to sort some things out in the apartment. She'd asked Phoenix to drop by her house to help.
So she was paid $9,000 a month for him not to work? Is that what he was saying? Because if that's the case, it sounds to me like he may be using her.
Help with some DIY, in which he agreed. He'd arrived at her home much later than expected though. It was a very long shift at the bar that night, and when he got in he was exhausted. He asked Yuka if he could run himself a bath to relax, in which she agreed. One he got into, and then fell asleep in. During that time though, Yuka had once again snooped through her boyfriend's phone, and while doing so she found a few photos of him with another woman. She didn't know who she was, and it couldn't be a client because she'd bought him out. This discovery enraged Yuka. She'd noticed for the last couple days that he'd been distant with her. She put that together with these photos and took it as evidence that he was cheating on her. So how would you confront your partner if you were suspicious over a picture? Discuss any problems in the relationship? Ask if everything's okay? Not for Yuka. That's not how she rolled.
I'd come right out with it. I'd confront him with it and just ask him about it. This is sounding a lot like that movie Audition, if you've ever seen that, with that Japanese girl that starts dating that Japanese guy, and then she ends up like torturing him. Crazy movie, crazy movie.
After waking up in the bath, Phoenix put on some underwear. He then crept into the bedroom and slid into the bed, trying not to wake Yuka, who was supposedly already asleep. And because he was so already exhausted from all of his shifts the last few days, he passed out pretty much immediately. Some time had passed when all of a sudden Phoenix felt an uncomfortable feeling coming from his stomach. He looked down, and that's when he saw a knife lodged into his abdomen. Waking up in surprise and terror, he looked back up to see Yuka arched over him. Is this real? Am I dreaming? He thought. Running on pure adrenaline, he shoved her off the bed and ran out the room. Yuka chased Phoenix, grabbing him as he left the front door. Him being taller though, he was stronger and pushed her away as he reached the elevator. By now, Phoenix was losing a lot of blood. The elevator door was closing, and it was heading towards the ground floor. And as the elevator door opened up to the lobby, he lunged forward, almost to safety, and then lost consciousness. Yuka had caught up with Phoenix. He lay collapsed on the floor of the hotel lobby, blood pooling around his body. By now, passers-by had noticed the horrific scene unfolding, and the police, they'd called them immediately. But Yuka, she wouldn't leave his side. She just sat there next to his body, and people were too scared to get close to them in case she did something back.
Yeah.
And the following picture is what has made this case notorious. When they got there, police found Yuka sat next to his body, drenched in his blood, casually smoking a cigarette while on the phone to her friend. In the time it had taken police to get there, she'd also written a letter, with his blood, repeatedly saying, "I love you," over and over and over again. Tokyo Metropolitan Police apprehended Yuka immediately. They would find the letter that she wrote along with the knife she'd used to stab Phoenix in her apartment. When the officer had asked her why she did it, she replied with, "I was sad and seeking to die. I thought that if I kill him, I could be with him. I thought that expressions such as 'I like you' and 'I would like to be with you' would become reality if we both died." Numerous witnesses watched as police escorted Yuka into the back of their vehicle, and when she got in there, she was smiling. And as for the victim, Phoenix Singer, he was still alive, but only barely. Following the speed in which police and paramedics had got to the apartments, he had not yet passed from his injuries. He was transported to a local hospital where he remained in critical condition, with only a 20% chance to survive. But on July the 1st, an entire month after he was stabbed in the abdomen, to everyone's surprise, Phoenix Luna was alive and recovering.
Awesome.
He tweeted friends and fans to say, "Sorry, I'm alive and back," before adding, "Since I was stabbed in the liver, I can't drink." Being a survivor of a horrific experience, Phoenix agreed to attending a local interview, and in that interview he refused to show any hate towards Yuka. When asked, he said that "I do not hold a grudge." He even pleaded with the judge to reduce her sentence. On Thursday the 5th of December 2019, the presiding judge sentenced Yuka to 3 years and 6 months for attempted murder. Did I get that right? Yep, 3 years and 6 months. On Thursday the 5th of December 2019, the presiding judge handed Yuka a prison term of 3 years and 6 months for attempted murder. Yuka and Phoenix previously had made a court settlement for her to pay him 5 million yen, the equivalent of $47,000, as a means to reduce her time behind bars. At her hearing, the court judge declared, "If possible, I want people to be able to lead a normal life rather than paying for their sins." And the story doesn't end there. Following Yuka's attempted murder and imprisonment, she grew an entire online community of fans, most of which are invested in anime culture and possess a deep admiration for her, hailing her as if she were a real-life Yandere. Her fans believed that she didn't need to be condemned for her actions, only rehabilitated. She even had a GoFundMe-style campaign raised for her, and while the campaign was shut down, at the time she was receiving over $3,800 from 69 contributors, almost the amount needed to get her out of prison. Following Yuka's crime of attempted murder, she is now scheduled to be released from prison in May 2023. And that's the story.
Do you think that somebody like that could be rehabilitated? It sounds to me like she had a complete frickin' breakdown. Big time, major breakdown. I don't know if you could ever come back from that.
Story of Yuka Takaoka. I feel really conflicted about this case. On one hand, I appreciate and admire Phoenix for not holding any grudges, but at the same time, attempted murder, 3.5 years... Really?
Doesn't really...
What do you think about Yuka's sentence? Do you think it was enough? Or do you think she got the time she deserved? And what do you think about her fan base? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, let me know what you think about this case. Do you find...
It's weird to me. I mean, 3.5 years isn't long enough, but I don't think she belongs in prison. She had a complete breakdown. Something snapped inside that little brain of hers. So she needs psychological help. She should be like in a sanitarium or something where they can take care of her a little bit. And I don't think 3.5 years is long enough. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. That was pretty interesting. I kind of like that channel. I like true crime stuff like this. And that was one I've never heard of. If you go out to eat, be very, very careful if you eat at Sam Adela's Diner. Think about it. I think you'll get it. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hashtag Mean Gene, all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, tell all your friends, leave a comment down below. And if you didn't like it, then just shut up. And I will see you next time.